We wanted to hear some more tips on service events. Specifically, Adam's going to be talking to us about kind of identifying some of those underserved areas, maximizing service events in those areas, and once again, driving attendance. So what he is doing to help him be successful at those. So Adam, take it away.
What's happening, people? You guys are one of my favorite groups to talk to, so I appreciate you guys having me. I miss you all in person. It's way better in person, but for now, this is going to do. Josh, dude, you brought the thunder, and that should be the net talk for service events this coming up, man. Way to over-deliver like you always do. Can we get a oh yeah thumbs up for Josh Moeller? That was fantastic. So guys, my goal with this message is just to give you some tips on what y'all can do to continue with what Josh was talking about. He literally told you A to Z what you need to do, and you just need to put that in motion. So my goal with this message is just to give you some ideas on things you might not be thinking about, and it's to challenge each and every single one of you to do something different this fall that you've never done in the service event arena. So I have a question I wanted to start off, and that is, when you think of 2020, go ahead and use the chat box. What do you think of when it comes to 2020? What are phrases, words, characteristics that you would use to describe the year 2020 when it comes to businesses that are crushing it and thriving? What are words, phrases, characteristics you would have in mind when it comes to businesses thriving right now with coronavirus? Okay. Yep, Brian, I like that. Overcoming challenges, essential, creativity. Guys, keep a couple more and then I'll go on with my point. What else? Adapt, accept, yep. I would say not making excuses. Chelsea said this earlier this year. It's the year of pivot. It's the year of purpose with things that you're uncomfortable with. So the reason I bring this up, guys, is service events is uncomfortable for some people. Service event is a strength for some of you guys. Any category you're in, these characteristics, these phrases are what you need to consider when it comes to executing underserved markets. You have to be an animal when it comes to attacking underserved markets. It's not just an accident that things happen, it is an intention, and it's the action of just the ability to adapt and to change and going for it. So when I think about underserved areas, I really just think about attacking with a purpose. And so here's my challenge for you guys on this Zoom. Who's going to be the first representative that sells $10,000 to $15,000 in one day doing sharpening at a farmer's market? Who's going to be that rep? Who's going to be the first rep that sells $100,000 to $50,000 in service events in a campaign this fall? Who is going to step up to the plate and do that? Who is going to be the one that drives 3 to 6 hours away to a town of 20,000 population and do a pop-up service event? And consider the angles that you used last year for service events and so far this year. What are you going to adapt and adjust this fall that's going to merit exceptional results? In other words, what are you pivoting? And hopefully my message is going to give you some call to action. And so guys, the first thing to write down is be smart. When it comes to underserved areas and markets, being smart is critical. So don't be afraid to do solo service events. A lot of you guys I know do team service events and don't really do single service events, meaning yourself. I'm telling you, my most profitable service event, 80% of the time, is solo events. I'm in control. I'm in control of the tempo, the culture, the experience. It's just me. I'm the expert. I would challenge you guys to add 3 to 10 service events this fall outside of the big ones. Don't be that rep that just does team service events. So when I say being smart, it means being proactive. When it comes to replacing the CPO you guys are having at the state fair, consider the number of days and shifts, and I'm sure Josh talked about it, I didn't hear the whole message, but replace the number of days at traditional events that you would have done this fall with half of those being service events. That's the challenge to think about. And where you're going to get a lot of those days, it's going to be in new areas you've never done before. And that's my goal with you guys in this message, is that you guys are implementing new venues and new areas as a result of pivoting because of coronavirus. And when you think about leveraging and being smart, leverage the fact that the factory is going to be a 4 to 5 week turnaround. You should be telling your customers, hey, I am committed to servicing you and bringing the authorized Cutco service experience to your area, since the factory is going to be really slow and backed up 4 to 5 weeks because of COVID. Use that as leverage to your clients. Let them know that you care and that you're doing something proactive that they respect at any business. One of the things that I had just happened to me, I was staying at a Marriott in San Diego, and literally it was the worst experience ever. I used my rewards points. I got a downtown Marriott, and they blamed everything on COVID. Oh, we can't serve you breakfast because of COVID. We can't clean your room the next 3 days unless you stay 4 nights or more. We can't even bring housekeeping to your room because of COVID. And I was like, this is a Marriott downtown San Diego. Are you kidding me? They did not pivot. Don't be that Marriott, guys. I stayed at a Best Western in Yuma, which is like not the best city in the world. And I had continental breakfast, pack and go, housekeeping. It's nuts. So don't be that representative that blamed COVID. So let's talk about the meats and potatoes. So what are the best kept secrets when it comes to underserved markets? Towns of 20 to 50,000 population. Those are going to be your best bets for a good event. So think about this. Have you Googled the top 100 population cities in Texas, Oklahoma? I think that's where both you guys or everyone is here. And figure out all the cities that are between 15,000 and 50,000 population in your territory. Ask yourself, have I done an event in that area? That would be one of the first things that I always do if I want to test a new area with my customers. Okay? And then when it comes to best kept secrets in an underserved area, think about branch territories. Where are they set up? Think about college towns. Think about areas that we've never done a sharpening event yet. These are the areas that I challenge you to do an event at. It will pay off. Those people are hungry for an American-made experience. Trust me, your average order is higher in underserved markets. Take advantage of that. Be the rep that challenges themselves to 5 underserved markets this fall and see the CPO numbers. Trust me, you don't need as many people there, and you're going to see the experience that I've had for the last 4 years doing service events. And by the way, guys, my last 125,000 in sales out of the 150 that I've sold since March has been through service. None of that's that service event. I've pivoted to virtual pickup and drop-off service, but I am now pivoting back to service events with virtual being a part of it as well. So guys, you have to adapt and embrace what's going on. Leverage the factory not open right now. That's huge. And then when it comes to best kept secrets, farm and ranch communities are always money. So just keep that in mind. Now, when it comes to being smart, play to your strength. If you're the rep that has an average order that's massive, you don't need to schedule 15 people in a day. Play to your strength. Give yourself more time per slot to maximize your event. Because you're upserving, you're having larger orders, you don't need as many people. Your energy will be higher if you see less people. If you're the rep that's like a consistency crusher and you need to see 10 to 12, 15 clients in one day for an event, just know your numbers so that when you're scheduling, you can maximize an underserved market.
Please unlock your device for this.
And I love that because I don't know why that's happening. And then the last thing as far as being smart, is leverage COVID for massive discounts for your venues. I've seen some of the events that charge me $200 to $400 in a day, because I've started booking more events recently, charge half the price because of COVID. So just leverage the fact that you're only doing one-on-one appointments, private with clients, and that normally we'd have twice as many clients coming. Is there anything they can do to help us with the price? So just keep in mind that profitability is just as important as the events you do. Now, what I want to talk about, I think, is the meat and potatoes right now, is think outside the box. How many of you have ever researched or delegate this, where you research on Facebook or Google all the farmers markets in your territory, antique shows, car shows, craft shows, any of those where you would find an event at? Are you doing a sharpening event on those, at those events? If you're not, you literally, that is free walk-up orders and free people coming back literally later that day to bring their knives. So I've only done one event since March, and I was up in the mountains, like a town of 10,000 population, and I was doing a sweet corn or a Pioneer Days, and I did a 2-day show, and I marketed to the 10 clients I had. 2 of them showed up. They brought their knife. 2 of them were upgrades, both of them. And then I actually had 5 clients come back the same day that they met me at the show to bring their stuff back. And I ended up selling double what I normally sell at that show because of the service opportunities I had in the past customer orders that I was able to generate, whether they were my clients or new clients to me with what they had Cutco. So always do your service events. The small towns, do them at a farmer's market, an antique show, a car show. Find an event where there's bodies and just do it there. If you need to hire a sharpener because you're not good at multitasking, I didn't have a sharpener. I actually wish I did, because there were a few situations where I felt like I could have maybe interacted with some new customers. Make sure you take advantage of places where there's traffic already. You know, think about you guys are in a good market with weather. You know, you could do a pop-up tent service event, probably pay nothing at a restaurant parking lot. Or you could negotiate where you just do your event in a 10 by 10 canopy, set up a display, and just do it one-on-one outside in an area where there's traffic. And that's totally fine. Think outside of the box. See, the thing is, we always look at what other people are doing, but who's going to be the one that actually make the decision to run with this fall? Because trust me, we're going to come up with an idea this fall that we don't even know about right now. I'm just putting that into the universe because it does matter when you think out of the box. COVID is an excuse to innovate what we're not doing yet. It's a pivot, and it's an opportunity for us to change our paradigms. And so when it comes to actions, I want you guys to think about this. When have you advertised or marketed to a sharpening event just like you did for a show? If you're not doing that, pick 3 to 5 events that aren't your big events that you want to advertise letters to, have an offer in there that talks about the sharpening event, and then have, you know, a combination of offers, and do a direct mail piece as the channel you're adding to the text, the email, the phone calls. Add that channel to your events. It's worth paying money to drive traffic to a service event, because they're going to bring friends and family if you reward people to do that. I've seen that time after time. So who's going to market with letters to underserved areas that they know they should be doing? If you're not doing that, trust me, it will pay off. A couple $100, that's one order. That's all you need extra from the event. And then a couple offers I thought would be cool to put in the letter is, have you had your knife checked in the last year? Get your knives sharpened, obviously, right? Get updates on kitchen enhancements. Here's a coupon. When you bring a friend with you on your appointment, you get a $100 free Cutco knife. Share this with 5 friends or family via text, email, or take a picture of this flyer and send it to 5 friends or family, and I'll put you into a drawing for a free Cutco knife. Just think out of the box about what you can do to drive traffic to an underserved area. When's the last time you used LinkedIn, Instagram, or even Nextdoor to post about your service opportunities? Think about those channels. You don't have to pay for that. You just post. You could even reach out to the local branch manager and say, hey, who are customers that need service in your territory? I would love to field trade your top 3 reps so they can see how to provide proper service and get free leads through branch managers in your territory. And then the last thing I'm going to mention for time's sakes is I'm going to rattle off 10 ideas that you can do. Change your venue. So do service events at a show that's normally a slow show. Call your vendor friends and see what shows they're doing this fall. Partner with those people, even if they're like low CPO, slow shows, do a sharpening event there versus at a hotel. I challenge you to do that. It is so worth it. It's the most profitable thing you could do. Have your texting marketing message say, hey, I have a quick favor to ask you. Send that text to your clients. Have a quick favor to ask you, and then let people respond. Those that respond say, hey, do you like being bribed? Smiley face. And then just say, hey, I'm doing a sharpening event in your area. Can you forward this to 5 or 6 friends? And just get the permission from your client to help you out. Go through your Calendly and Acuity account and all the canceled appointments. Download that, export it. You can export all the people that canceled their sharpening events and from the last year or 2, and then call those people. Make sure those people don't fall through the cracks. Set a standard that 75% of your appointments will be booked a week minimum prior to the event. That is a big standard I live by. Take one of your show shifts that you normally would work every fall and make that your calling day once a month. That's it, once a month. Replace the show hours with a call phone jam once a month this fall. And then the last thing I wanted to wrap up with, guys, is make sure all your marketing has, can you share this with 3 or 5 friends real quick via text, email? Really appreciate you, smiley face. Just like Chelsea recommend always putting on the email, it's important that you're always asking who else you can serve. Guys, hopefully that was some nuggets for you, and appreciate your time. Thanks again.
Oh, sorry. I was like typing so much, all those last things. So round of applause for Adam. Very, very, very good stuff. Guys, I love the creativity here that everybody's coming up with. It's like, hey, have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? Here's also where you can do a service event. Hey, you can get a better rate on your service event. Hey, here are all these places you can go to a service event that you know about, that you don't know about. That was awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love it. It's easy to see. I love it. I'm just like, yeah, I was just up in the mountains at some random little show. Then I was here. You know, the people who are having success right now are getting creative and putting in the work. So I like it. And Adam's definitely showing that he is doing that this year. So you said 125 of your 150K this year. Did I hear that? What was that stat that you said has just been, was it virtual or what was that? I forget. What was that stat? Something was like mind blowing to me.
Was the virtual pickup drop off sharpening that I'm doing. The other 25 is realtor program, but yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that is awesome. So if you haven't added that layer to your business, there's another opportunity. There are some people who won't come to our sharpening events, right? For one reason or another. So is there an extra layer in your guys' business for virtual stuff? We will be also talking about that on a future call too. So just keep that in mind. But take notes, guys. There's lots and lots and lots of opportunities for us to still be doing something and still be getting sales, even though it's not the fair. All right. Thank you again, Adam. We really, really appreciate it. Thanks for hopping on. We love to get to see you. So thank you for contributing very highly to our team and bringing the goods. So thanks for that.